for most of the people I know, the fun of training is the
Get the fuck up. Simon says, get the fuck up. Throw your hands in the sky.
I was handed the phone on this one because this is kind of a weird question to answer. And, but I can't stop looking at the question that's underneath it, which says, how do you grow horse balls? Well, you know, it's a great question. My answer is buy a fucking horse. You know, buy a horse, you got horse balls. Takes care of that one. Anyhow, the question that I'm supposed to be answering here is from Bill Bellows, and it's how do you balance the love and fun of training with the discipline and rigor it takes to grow stronger and competitive? Training has always been my passion, but I'm also a person who is the hardest on myself, and I can lose sight of what brought me into the sport in the very beginning. What I'm struggling with here is for most of the people I know, the fun of training is the discipline, you know, and the rigor it takes. You know, so I'm trying to really wrap my head around what you're asking here, because I don't think that you're asking what I think you're asking. I really don't, because I kind of want to bust your balls a little bit and say, what the hell are you talking about? But I don't think that's what it is, man. I think that, I think you got some training experience, and what you're talking about is the, you know it's a long haul, and you know it's a grind, and you know it takes time, and that the discipline that you're talking about is the real discipline of training, and that's the years that it takes and the rigor that it takes to grow stronger and to be competitive. Not, you know, as somebody else may ask, you know, that think it's weeks or days or a 12-week cycle or a 10-week cycle or whatever the hell it is. It's you know, I'm kind of getting the impression here that you've been down the road, and when you've been down that road, you're going to have times where when you miss the lift, you're fucking pissed, you know, or you have a meet, you're really pissed. And you may have a string of 2 years where you're not getting any better, and it fucking pisses you off because you think all you're doing is you're wasting your time, and it's draining, man. It's draining on everybody. Anybody tells you differently, they're just fucking lying. You know, missing weights and having bad meets and getting hurt and all that stuff, that ain't fun. It sucks. You know, but it's part of the process, and it's part of what makes it fun down the line. You know, it's the longer you're in it, and the more competitive and the more disciplined it becomes, the less, I'm trying to say this correctly, and my brain's like struggling with how to say this in the right manner. But the longer you're in it, the less fun it is on a day-to-day and week-to-week basis. I mean, there's weeks and months where it's just a grind, man, and you're just doing what you got to do because it's just what you do. But what happens over time is not every session is fun like it was when you first started. And when you first started, man, you're all fucking excited, and you know, man, if they had those stupid pre-workout things that they have now, when I was younger, I would have been taking that shit 3-4 hours before my training session, 1 hour before my training session. That's all I fucking thought about was my training session all day long. You know, then towards the later end of my career, the day-to-day becomes almost like work. You know, it's a little bit of a grind. I don't want to sit here and say that it's not fun, because it is. You know, it's the process and it's the grind. But what changes is you'll have those PRs, and the longer you do it, those PRs really fucking matter. They're not like the PRs you're setting every week when you first start training. These are ones that you worked your ass off for. You know, some of them you may have worked 2 years for because you got injured, you went way down, then you had to fight back, then you got knocked down again, then you had to fight back, you got knocked down again, then you had to fight back, then finally you got the fucking PR. That's fun. That's what it's about. So you're taking that, all those little tiny chunks of fun or whatever the fuck you want to call it, and then you're putting it into this one giant fucking accomplishment that makes all the grinding worth it. And that's what I think you need to keep in mind. I think that is the question that you're asking is, you know, how do you kind of keep that perspective when you're stuck in that grind all the time? You know, you got to have faith and you got to have belief in yourself that there will be that PR or that meet and or that accomplishment, that it will be there and it will make all of it fucking worth it. So keep that in the back of your mind. That's why you, and you know what, it's there. It's in the back of your mind right now. Otherwise you wouldn't fucking be showing up all the time. You wouldn't be making it to the gym when 90% of the other people, not even 90%, 99% of the people in the country wouldn't fucking go train. That's why you go train even though you don't want to train. That's why you train hard even though you don't even want to walk through the door. So think about that accomplishment at the end that makes it all worthwhile. That's what you need to do. That's what's going to make it worth it. That's what's going to make that fun be there. But is it really fun, or is it in a sense of accomplishment because you busted your fucking ass to get there? That's what it is.
Throw your hands in the sky. Weezer's in the back sipping yak, yo, what's up?